Hey, what's up guys? Aaron Bennett here. In this video, Celsius updates. So I'm going to cover a couple things that have come through the docket, including Leticia James, the Attorney General of New York, her response to Alex Mashinsky's claim that everything he said was puffery, him trying to get this entire suit thrown out of the court. So I'm going to touch on that. I'm also going to touch on a little bit more about the Fahreinheit deal that came in yesterday, and then about the co-founder, Daniel Leon, and his wife trying to get some money from an insurance policy, and then finishing off talking about Coinbase and the SEC. We have Brian Armstrong here, Mr. Clean, saying that he is not going to shut down the staking service. So why does this affect us, people who have a Celsius claim? Well, it's because part of the NewCo is going to be getting money from staking Ethereum. So if that is not allowed by the SEC and they are coming after Coinbase, most likely they're not going to approve it with Celsius, or I should say Fahreinheit as well. So starting out, we have Leticia James, the Attorney General of New York, going against Alex Mashinsky. So this started out back in January of this year amid a video called Alex is Sued, and he was sued by the Attorney General, Leticia James. And then about a month ago, Alex's lawyers says that he was just engaging in puffery. I made a whole video on that as well if you want to catch that. A very interesting and funny approach that his lawyers took to defend himself and hopefully get this case thrown out. So yesterday, Leticia James said, no, we're not going to just roll over and let this entire case be thrown out. So this is a response to Alex's lawyer saying that, this whole thing should get thrown out. They pick apart all of Alex's lawyer's arguments, saying that Alex does not dispute that he misrepresented Celsius investments. Alex does not dispute his material misstatements concerning his own sales of Cell token. And this whole idea of that everything Alex said was puffery or fraud by hindsight, this should not be reason to get this thrown out. And ultimately, Leticia James says the court should deny Mashinsky's motion in its entirety. Essentially, don't let his lawyers get this thrown out, because what she shows here is that Alex is still liable and guilty of a lot of the things that she says he was, including very quickly Alex making misrepresentations and omissions in connection with the promotion of securities and commodities. Alex comparing Celsius to banks was a massive misrepresentation. Alex was misrepresenting the compliance, saying that Celsius was registered with the SEC, which was actually false. So we've been over these videos for about a year, ever since this bankruptcy kind of hit, saying all the things that, were lied to us and we're told that were not true. But essentially, she is trying to just say, hey, this should not get thrown out, which kind of leads me right here. So we have one of the co-founders, Daniel Leon, and his wife, Eliza, and they want to tap into this directors and officers insurance in order to get reimbursed for their defense costs. So whether or not this goes through, I have no idea, and I really don't care. Obviously, we would prefer this not to go through, but ultimately, this is not any of our main concerns right here. There's a hearing on the 28th for this topic. Then we have a new document coming in, which just gives more information. A lot of it is repeat of when Fahreinheit won the bid. They give a little bit more information, including some backgrounds for this new company's CEO, Steve Kokonos. We have the CFO. We have the members of Fahreinheit, so just giving backgrounds, a little bit more professional. And then they go through the plan term sheet, which I actually covered in a video when this was first announced. A lot of it just goes into what they plan to do with mining, with equity, with, all sorts of things like that. And this term sheet does talk about staking as a way that the NewCo is going to generate revenue. So again, if the SEC is really getting on Coinbase's ass about staking being illegal, or I should say something like a security, then I really can't imagine it not being difficult for Fahreinheit to get this approved with the regulators, mostly the SEC. And these are some of the milestones that they want to hit this NewCo. We have June 30th when they will release the disclosure statement. That'll give everybody the information about how much liquid crypto earn people will get back. And then they have a date of October 31st, happy Halloween, the effective date of the plan, which shall have occurred. So hopefully by the end of October, they will have this completed and this will, I believe, be approved. And I have not seen anything in this bankruptcy court happen before the dates they give. So if anything, this will be postponed, especially if there are objections from the SEC, or they need to go back to the drawing board and get a better bidder for a controlled liquidation. There's a lot of things that still could happen, which could easily push this date well into November, December. So if you have an earn claim, I would not expect to get money back until the very end of this year as a really good date. If anything, first quarter of next year. It really depends on what happens getting this plan approved. So regarding Coinbase and staking, Brian Armstrong said, "We are not going to wind down our staking service." But just to finish this video, I guarantee you what happened with Coinbase and the SEC is in the minds of the Fahreinheit team. They want to get their plan approved. So if they think that putting ETH staking as a way of generating revenue will cause a red flag and have regulators come down on Fahreinheit, they're probably not going to put it in the disclosure statement, and maybe they'll give everybody their ETH back so they don't have to do staking. But then they have to figure out another way. Maybe it'll just be mining or just be the loans for them to produce revenue, right? There's still a lot that's up in the air right now. So my guess is they are working really hard to figure this out, and they can present a disclosure statement that they think will be a good company. So people who have an earn claim will want to keep the equity, but also is going to get approved. That's really the challenge right now. All right, guys, that is it for the video. Thanks for watching. Till next time, talk with you soon, and bye for now.